Hey everybody, welcome to the Solar Sister channel. It's your girl Solar Sister coming to you once again with another video. In today's video, I actually wanted to share an experience that I remembered having when I lived outside of the country once before, and it actually made me even more excited, or it got me even more excited about this whole repatriation journey that I'm on all over again. And so I wanted to share it with y'all. And before we move forward, though, guys, if you would go ahead and thumbs up the video and hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and feel free to share. And y'all just disregard my fleece get up here. I'm just trying to be a little cozy. It's a little chilly outside, and I just want to be a little cozy. But anyway, let me take a drink real quick, guys. Excuse me. All right, let's get this thing rolling. Listen. I was living outside of the country. I was living in a melanated country, a melanated girl living in a melanated country, living my whole melanated life, and enjoying myself. I had been in the country about 2 months at this point, and I remember I was on the bus and I had left work. I was on my way home. And part of being a melanated person living in a melanated country, you just kind of can sit back and just chill and just observe, if I didn't open my mouth, the people from the country would not have known that I wasn't from the country. I just blended in. And even when I did open my mouth, they were trying to find some kind of way to connect me to the country. They would ask me, did you have family here that left to go to the States and now you're coming back home? And it seemed like when I told them no, they would look kind of disappointed. They were trying to find a way to connect me to them, and it was a wonderful thing. But anyway, after being there for about 2 months, I was on the bus. I remember exactly what I had on. I remember where I was sitting on the bus, and I had this epiphany. We had come to a stop, and there were some Huehite people who had gotten on the bus. And so, as I looked at the Huehite people, I realized at that moment that I had not thought about my blackness since I had been in the country. And it was almost like an awakening, like, oh, like you hadn't thought about being black, since you've been here. And it was an interesting feeling. It was a liberating feeling. And it was also kind of sad because I realized at that moment that I thought about my blackness, even though it may have been subconsciously. I thought about my blackness in the US more than I thought I did. I was a person who, and I'm sure a lot of black people have had to deal with this. You might have been like the one black person on your job, or the one white black person in a particular class, or the one black person in a certain meeting, one black person at a certain conference, whatever. Um, those kinds of things happen, when you're black in the US. And also, you realize that, yes, blackness, race, was a social construct that was put there for a reason. It made me realize just how much my headspace was freed up in the melanated country, where I could think about other things that I really did not have time to think about being in the US. I mean, you were able to enjoy little things in life that you didn't even realize you did not enjoy. Just being, just walking freely and comfortably and smelling roses, seeing the doggies play, listening to some music, whatever. You just felt free to just be. And so I want more of that experience, which is why this repatriation thing is so important to me right now. I am so at a place where I want to just get to some peace of mind, free up my head space, free up my heart space, where I can just focus on those things that are important. Um, rid, my psyche of, the toxicity that you can't help but have here in the US. Whether you think you're doing it or not, you really don't even realize how insidious that thing is until you don't have to think about it. Going to a place where the people in the government look like you, the people who are the doctors and the nurses look like you, your dentist looks like you, your cab driver looks like you, the restaurant owner looks like you. and the people on your money looks like you. You don't even know how powerful that is. Um, the people in Jamaica, if you go to Jamaica, who's on their money? You go to China, who's on their money? You go to Mexico, who's on their money? If you go to African countries, who's on their money? But when you come to America, the place that you grew up in, the only place that you know of as home, even though you've never felt like, the house was yours, even though you know that your ancestors built the house, nobody on the money that you spend to live your whole Black existence in this toxic place looks like you. I remember at one point they were talking about putting Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill. Now, some people thought that that was a good thing. I was in that group of people who wasn't too I wasn't too interested in that. I appreciate Harriet for the things that she did. She was a runaway slave who kept coming back to help free other slaves. But the contradiction, though, of having a runaway slave on some money next to some people who owned slaves was just too much for me. That's part of the toxic mind games that are being played here in the US. They know what they're doing, they play the games, and there's some of us who are woke to the issues, and some of us who think, oh, yeah, that's a great thing, or they're finally putting some of us in. No, it's a game. It's a toxic game that's being played. And until people really get to a place where they understand that the battlefield, um, here in the US is really a battle for your mind. When you think about just the walking contradictions of the US, it's enough to make you just scream. There's so many walking contradictions in this place. And you know what? I actually think I'm getting ready to write that down. I think I might do a video about the walking contradictions of the West. But when you think about just how powerful that is to go to a place where there are people who look like you, who are running things, who are the ones who are on the money that you're spending every day. That's a beautiful thing. And even if you can't get to a place where you're planning to just repatriate altogether, I think that every Black person who can should find a way to live outside of this country in a place of melanated people or a place of melanation where you can just blend in, be free, get to a place where you can just think, where you can clear your head, clear your heart, and just be. That I think is something that is necessary for us to heal. We got to have it to heal. You don't even know how toxic the environment is until you actually leave it. So, anyway, I just wanted to share that with y'all because I just remember that feeling that day that I felt that when I realized, like, dang, girl, you really haven't even thought about your Blackness since you've been here. You've been able to just focus on other things. Think about how many inventions can be made, how many books can be written, how many um, just creative things can be done when you have your mind freed up to just focus on just being by itself. I think Black people have done a great job with the successes that they have attained here in this country, considering how much negativity and how many obstacles have been put in our way. But just think about what can happen when we don't have to deal with that anymore. Anyway, guys, that's all I have for you. Just wanted to come on here real quick and share it. But like I always say, guys, if you can't do anything else, protect your head space, protect your heart space, and keep your vibration high. It's your girl, Solar Sister. Until the next one. Peace.